Here is the cost of living in Bucharest, Romania, and why Bucharest actually may be slightly more inexpensive than a place like Chișinău. Hello and welcome back to the Traveling Reports. Today I wanted to go over the cost of living in Bucharest and why it's actually marginally cheaper right now than Chișinău, and why you could potentially live there for not that much, realistically speaking. So, of course, when it comes to cost of living, I tend to go over quite a few different things. However, in Bucharest, the main things I'd say you'd spend on are public transport, taxis, rent, and food. Realistically, those are the staples. Those aren't you going out of your way to spend money, which of course is what you would do if you are in Bucharest. That said, in Bucharest, you're looking at, realistically, in Sector 3, which is city center, you're looking at maybe 400 to 500 euro for a relatively nice modern apartment, and that's per month, so about $6,000 a year on an apartment. Now, I will be honest, I haven't rented an apartment in Bucharest, and so I don't know whether or not that includes utilities or excludes utilities. And for Romania more broadly, it is dependent on the owner, and so I'm not sure if competition would dictate whether or not you pay utilities. You are required to pay for some certain dues, and then additionally you may have a deposit that you have to provide. However, you will get a contract as a result of that. That said, of course, in Bucharest you have a large variety of houses and apartment offerings. I'll put a screen recording of myself scrolling through OLX.ro, which is where you can find apartments by owner. And then, of course, I'll give you the general cost, which I already did, at about 500 euro a month. You can get lower, you can get significantly higher, but that's for a 2-room apartment in center. Food for a month, I would say, could range, but realistically you're looking at anywhere from 200 euro, 150 to 200 is roughly what I'd say is good for groceries, and then maybe an additional 50 euro for eating out. I believe that whenever I went out in Bucharest, I was spending maybe 5 to 10 euro on a meal, which is not that expensive relative to the rest of Eastern Europe, albeit still significantly more expensive than Poland, but better rental prices than Poland. So, of course, if you're moving to Poland, I actually recommend you buy a house, but I'll get more into Poland whenever I go to Poland, as I lived there for 3 months. Irrespective, getting back to the prices on cost of living, a 2-liter bottle of Coke is going to cost you round about, I think it was 3 to 4 Romanian lei, so I'll put that up on the screen. I did record some of the things for B-roll, and then, of course, you have other essentials. The metro system is 3 lei per ride, which is not that much. So 1 euro to lei is this cost, and then that's as of the recording of this video, of course. And so, essentially, then looking at taxis, you're looking at around a 3 euro starting charge, and then maybe 30 euro cents per kilometer. It's fairly expensive, to be quite frank with you, and I think I spent 8 euro on a taxi from a metro stop to the bus station when I was going to Craiova. Of course, that is not too terrible compared to, say, New York or London, where you can obviously get charged significantly more, dependent on where you're going, and especially in the downtown areas of those cities, you're looking at significantly more than in Bucharest. Furthermore, to loop back to what I was saying, essentially the US dollar equivalent to the Romanian lei is this. As of the recording of this video, I'll have my editor pop it up on screen, and additionally I'll have her give you the timestamp. Of course, with these cost of living videos, it is difficult as I have to do currency research, and that, of course, is hard to deal with at times, which, if you appreciate that level of research and that level of inquiry, feel free to give the video a like. But overall, to wrap up this video and go over what the quality of life in Bucharest is like, it's a very high-touch society that is very nice to live in. I mean, I enjoy whenever I visit Bucharest. Now, I prefer second-tier cities as they aren't as hectic, but if I were to choose a capital city, it probably would be Bucharest. It wouldn't be Warsaw, actually. I do not like Warsaw, but of course I have raving things to say about Poland whenever I go back. That said, of course, a total amount I would give towards living generally in Bucharest is maybe in the realm of €1,000 per month, 1,000 to 1,200. Maybe if you want like a really good quality of life, you're looking at 1,500 to €1,800 per month. It's not an insanely expensive place, albeit it is more expensive than what I'm used to, as I lived in Georgia and Armenia and Albania, and it is more expensive than those places. However, for EU standards, it is some of the cheapest places in the EU, and of course, if you're looking to move to an EU country and you need consulting on where to go, how to set up companies, how to set up bank accounts, what to do, feel free to click the link for the Calendly down below. If you liked this video, feel free to like it. If you really liked this video, feel free to share. This has been the Traveling Report, signing off.